Hello, everybody. It is me, Pacific, with more thoughts from the garage. You know what? I was thinking today, thinking about what I do every day. Girls, I thought I'd make a video clarifying some things. Some people get the impression I hate white girls. Some people think I hate, period. Some people have written me and said, "You're very bitter and angry in all your videos." I'm amazed at the crap people say to me. I get mad at things. There are some things I get annoyed at, but I don't believe I'm bitter. I comment on things because I just don't see a lot of people commenting on this stuff. Somebody else wrote me and said, "Why can't you be positive?" What does positive mean? Oh, look at the nice flowers. You know what? I appreciate things and I notice things. But my video series is geared at talking about issues. I'm not going to be doing videos on flowers and how beautiful they are. Should I get the opportunity to live somewhere else and have a rolling video camera, I'll take you on my journeys there. My mode of operandi is to talk about issues, to be controversial, to talk about the elephant in the room that most people know is there, but they don't want to talk about. I like to bring up all the unpolitically correct issues or the politically incorrect issues of the day and put them in people's face and get them to think. A viewer wrote me and left some really nasty comments about my looks, said all my bones are showing, and thought, bones are showing? I don't think so. Said I was ugly. I'm assuming that this person is a woman. Condemn me for on one of my videos, say I have a right to talk about why I'm turned off by obesity because I keep myself slender and I think I'm pretty decent looking. Not Don Juan and GQ, but it's amazing how mean people can be. When I talk about obesity, I'm not writing people on their site saying, "Hey, you're obese, you're ugly, you're disgusting." I don't do that. I'm just saying what turns me off. So this video is called Girls. I'm not interested in dating somebody pencil thin, okay? That is a turnoff. But on the flip side of that, I'm not interested in dating somebody that big around. Yeah, look, Lowe's advertisement. You know, somewhere there's got to be a happy medium, right? Check this out. Brush, man. Brush my hair. You know what? I'm going to tell you what I like in girls. I'm going to tell you that I'm not just limited to Asian women. I've beat the drum for a few years now that Asian women are the best, the best, the best. Yes, they are my preference. They are my number one preference. Lately, I've been looking at black women and thinking, man, I wouldn't mind dating a black woman. But so you viewers would know, and women, you would know, I noticed pretty white women. I went to Sears today to go look for a snow shovel. Nobody seems to have any. Snow hasn't come. They don't even have them stocked yet. I'm like, I have a feeling we're going to get a winter here. So I want to get a snow shovel just in case, and I'm going to get snow tires for my truck. I'm tired of sliding around on street tires. The clerk was very nice to me. She was a white woman. She was well put together. And I said, "Don't mind me for saying this, but you are very pretty." She goes, "Oh, thank you." When I think somebody's attractive, I tell them. I make no bones about it. I have noticed redhead women, and I'm like, dang. Now, Pacific prefers small, busted women. I'm not one of those guys that's into big, busted women. I'm not into that. I'll be honest. When they get older, they start to sag. No offense, ladies. I'm not. That's something that cannot be helped. But I tend to like small-breasted ladies. And some people look at that and look down on women with small breasts. I'll tell you what. I like smaller build women. I like women that are smaller than me and well put together. And I make no bones about it. I like some looks of white women. I like looks of black women. When I talk about my issues, I am not racist and hateful of a race. What I am sick of is the cultural grid that has been imposed upon American people, Mexican, black, white, or Asian, that's destroying them. Feminism is destructive. We're not going to talk about that. I've done hours on that. I prefer women with long hair. I prefer jet black hair. But there's some redheads lately I've noticed, and I thought, wow, striking. I love black hair. I've dated women with short hair. I dated a couple Filipinas in Hong Kong that had short hair but still looked like classy ladies. I prefer long, long hair. I prefer women that are shorter and smaller than me. And that's just a preference. The reason I like Asia so much is I really hit it off with the Filipino women because most women, especially here in American culture, most white women don't want to date a man that's shorter than them. They're not going to do it. As a white woman told me, I want to feel secure in a man's arms, and if the guy's smaller than me, it just doesn't make me feel real secure. I understand that. I've noticed all my life people that tend to become my friends or have an interest in me as friends aren't huge and twice and three times my size. People tend to flock together with kind of the same size people. Just something I've noticed. But when it comes to dating and when it comes to romance, I have had smaller women look at me with interest in their eyes. Today it was funny. I was in a store. Guy come up to me today, was Asian, commented on this, commented on I had my keys on my chain around my neck. And he said, boy, those are long keys. Started chatting. The guy was probably 19 or 20. And as he was talking to me, I found out that he had lived in Shanghai, came over to the U.S. He says, would you like to meet my mom? And of course, internally, I'm like, I said, is your mom married? No, but she's seeing someone. And I thought, oh, that's fine. I'll see her. She's just dating somebody. Maybe she'll get attracted to me. Chinese woman. Hey, hey, Asian. I met her. She was cordial to me, but kind of stiff. Then I thought, But she appeared to be about my age. I chit-chatted with her a little bit. They were both from Shanghai. And I didn't feel real comfortable around her. I felt like there was a big wall, so I didn't venture beyond, normal chitty chat. But as I was talking to this kid, I thought, he has no idea I'm 47 years old. He says, can I have your number and I'll text you? I gave him my number out of politeness. And I said, you know what? Why don't you type in Pacific Ocean Asia when you get home and watch my videos? And I thought, that'll floor him. I don't attract, as a general rule, especially in the white culture, white women my age, no. I don't. I've had younger women look at me because they think I'm their age, but I don't hate white women. I'm playing with stuff while I'm talking. Man, there is so much stuff in here. Anybody want a green extension cord? I mean, this is like fluorescent green, dude. We got air hoses, we got everything. I like a beautiful woman. One of the teachers comes out to my bus that brings the students on one of my elementary routes is a white woman with long hair, and she's drop dead gorgeous. But she's nice. When I walk out in public, like today, I did 5 miles around the lake down the road here, and good looking women don't look at me. So I don't look at them. I'll deliberately look out over the lake, look at the ducks or some invisible object out there. And I've noticed that when I'm not looking at them, I can see out of the corner of my eye that they're kind of looking at me like, how come he's not looking at me? I've noticed that. But I've been scarred too, and I have insecurities, so I'm like, why look? You know, I used to be nice and high and smile and was snubbed so many times in my life. I just said, forget it, man. If they speak, then I'll speak. Other than that, leave it alone. I don't hate white women. I was thinking the other day, was looking at some pictures of women with clothes on, and there were some Russian women pictures, and I thought, oh my gosh, those women are strikingly gorgeous. Small-breasted, long hair, nice arm shape and shoulders, and just pretty. And I thought to myself, wow, there's some good-looking women out there around the world. Our culture's kind of picked up so many bad habits. It's kind of ruined a lot of women's looks with the obesity and so much makeup and breast implants, and it's just a turnoff to me. I do love a natural beauty. You know, one of my videos called Pacific with Hong Kong Lady Friend on IFC Plaza, the park above the mall there, I thought she was gorgeous. Filipina, she was from Bohol, what's called the Chocolate Hills. Look it up, the Chocolate Hills of the Philippines. They're these weird mound-shaped formations out in the middle of the Philippines that's the geological phenomenon. That woman with her long hair, I had a white woman back in the U.S. make fun of her. Said she seems kind of stupid and naive, and I said, you know what? That's not very nice. That woman in that video, she's she was 30 years old when I dated her. She kissed on me, she held my hand and put her arms around me, leaned her head against me, and all I would do was stroke her lovely hair, hold her face, and just touch her face. And you know what? She's a doll. I lost contact with her. She lost her job there. The Chinese woman she worked for was very mean, didn't even tell her. Said, I'm going vacation. You must go out for 1 week. Kicks her out of the place. Her luggage is stuck in the place. She goes, like, where am I going to go? I was renting from a woman who clearly told me, you may rent a room in my place, but I don't want anybody in my house. No problem. So I respected that. Had I been living in Causeway Bay, I would have said, you can stay with me. While this young lady stayed at the shelter, the other Filipinas got into her stuff, stole her money. One of them even hit her, and every day I'd meet her, and she was crying, and I said, what is wrong? And she told me, I said, man, here I thought the Filipinos were such nice sweeties. You know, Pacific, not all. And she told me her story. People made fun of her. She wore boots. She came to karaoke, and she wore boots. Beautiful boots. She wore a dress. She just looked nice. And I said, you look so cute. She goes, yeah, but the others laugh at me. She said, do you know why I wear the boots? She said that she was in her house in Bohol as a young lady, and a Filipino came over, and her folks weren't home. Filipino said, let's have sex. No, I'm not interested in you. So he proceeded to rape her, and in the process of trying to get away from him, he got on top of her. She scratched his eyes and face, which temporarily knocked him out of commission. She went to run. He chased her. She jumped out of the window of her house, landed on two metal stakes sticking up out of the yard, and they went right up both of her calves, leaving a nasty scar. She had to go to the hospital and have an operation and be stitched and sewed up and everything. I saw those gashes. She showed them to me. I said, oh my gosh, and I almost cried. Then she told me a story that she was close to some American base there in Bohol. Again, her folks weren't home. A U.S. serviceman stopped, knocked on the door, and said, I'm sorry to bother you, but I've got a long journey and I've been walking. Do you have any water? She kindly invited him in because she had been told Americans are great guys. He come in and he started to force himself on her and said, do not. He wouldn't listen. She reached around his neck and grabbed his dog tags and ripped them off his neck. He got spooked, heard a noise, ran out the house. Her father came home. He said, thank you, honey. I will take care of this. The Filipino took the dog tags, walked over to the base, talked to one of the big shots down there and said, this man came over and proceeded to rape my daughter under the guise of getting a drink. He was disciplined. I don't know what happened, but the U.S. in command at that base said, I am so sorry, sir. We will definitely take care of this. Getting to know this young lady, I did romance her, and she romanced me. And out of all the girls that I dated, she touched me more than any of them over there, simply because she told me something that I was stunned by. I thought she was very, very attractive. Yes, she was simple. She was very simple. She was trusting, but not entirely. She told me, so many people have motive. But she wanted to spend every day with me, and she'd call me, where are you? Can I be with you? We'd go to lunch. We'd hang out in Hong Kong. I would stroke her lovely hair, and I would hold her and cuddle up with her. And you know what? She was made fun of growing up. They called her monkey, said she was ugly. This from other Filipinas. I said, my gosh, you're beautiful. You got the hair that I've coveted. She's slender. She's brown skin. I've talked about a lot of women that I met, and many of you said, well, you've talked about feelings. I've had feelings for a lot of women. But this one, she had a special place in my heart more than the others because I went through the same stuff. I was called a nerd, a dork, a geek, all because of thick glasses. I was laughed at, put down, made fun of. I remember the first time when I started sweating, I was embarrassed by it. When you're in junior high kids, nothing sacred. You sweat and you get water showing up on your shirt, and they look, and they call out my name, Pacific Sweating. Oh my gosh, and the girls, ew. I'll tell you what, junior high school in California when I was growing up was brutal as hell. I didn't like going to gym class. I did not like going to the showers. I refused to shower. I said, give me a swirly, man. They didn't. They tried. Swirly, by the way, for those of you that don't know, was where they pick you up upside down and put your head in the toilet and flush and then set you back up. I came that close. If it wasn't for the principal coming into the locker room and me being dropped on the floor, I would have been in the potty. Several kids didn't get off as easy as I did, and they got swirlies. I loved that girl. She had been put down, made fun of, laughed at. So I went to karaoke one day. She finally went on to the Philippines. Her stay had ended. She got her pay. Her employer was turned into the authorities because she hadn't paid my friend, and she went and signed a complaint. They contacted the Chinese woman and said, you either come down here and pay this woman by this date, or you will be going to court, and you will pay even more. She came down and apologized and said, I didn't need your services. Well, why didn't you tell her? Crazy. There's a lot of stories I haven't told you about what I learned and saw in Hong Kong. I wasn't just a tourist there. I lived, breathed, and swam and drank the culture. This lady had some of the same life I did in that she was mocked and put down. I went to karaoke after she went back to the Philippines. And the ladies were all talking to me. Said, she always wear those boots, ha ha ha. And I quietly but firmly said, do you know why she wears those boots? And I told them. You could have heard a pin drop in that room, and all those women said, oh, I didn't know that. I said, yeah, maybe you ought to think before you mock at somebody. And what is wrong with her boots? She wore the boots with the dress. She looked very good. She didn't look like a fashion disaster. She looked better than most American women I know that go and spend too much in their frickin' malls. I was so angry. One thing that you ladies need to know that watch my YouTube videos, I have a whole lot of love in my heart. I had a black woman who's a Jehovah's Witness tell me the other day, I like her as a friend. I am attracted to her, but there's no deal there. She's off-putting in many ways. I think she's been burned in her life, and I think she's afraid to fall in love with anybody. But aside from that, I'm not going to get involved with the Jehovah's Witness. It's just not going to work for me. She told me the other day, you know, one of these days, you might just find a woman that just is crazy about you. And I said, I don't know if that's going to happen here, ma'am. And she said, I don't think you could handle it if somebody loved you. And I said, oh, yes, I could. I said, the problem is I've never had it before. Not here. You know what? There's a couple gals that came close. What I didn't tell you is in my 20s, I dated a white woman in Duluth, Minnesota, who was from Proctor, Minnesota. She was one of the most attractive white women I ever dated. Slender, small-breasted, nice shape. She'd tan real nice in the summer. She loved Gone with the Wind, and one of her favorite characters was Scarlett O'Hara. And her name was Sarah, and I called her Scarlett O'Sara, which she thought was cute. She was absolutely beautiful. And because I was dumb and in my 20s and impulsive, and she was quite a bit younger than me. Actually, no. What was I? I was 27, and had just turned 18. She worked a job. She was very good. She was taking care of handicapped adults at a group home. And I often said when I had married the woman that I was married to for 14 years, I thought I should have married Sarah. I should have married her. We never had an argument. She'd come over. We'd watch animal shows and stuff like that and faraway shows. And I remember I said, man, we ought to move out of here. She goes, oh, I'd love to. She goes, I have family in Oregon. Let's move to Oregon. And that woman was willing to go anywhere with me. She was not feminist. She came to church with me, but I was stupid. I've made mistakes, viewers. I've made a lot of mistakes. And the reason for that mistake, too, is I had a Christian friend say, you shouldn't be dating her. She's not a believer. Yeah. Well, I got seriously involved with 3 women that were Christians, and they were a complete nightmare to be involved with. Sarah wasn't. Sarah liked going out on the water. We'd go down and swim in Lake Superior. We'd grab and tickle each other and absolutely have fun. I have yet to experience that with an American white woman since then and to date. They are so rigid, so intense, so trauma-oriented, so checklist-oriented, and Sarah never even did that. She was a counselor for YMCA, and I met her on my bus. I'd pick up the kids, I picked up her, take them to camp, and run them home in the afternoon. It was 7 hours of driving, the whole day's worth of events. And it was just something simple. The seatbelt thing was mounted. My driver's seatbelt was mounted to a thing on the floor. And the kids would sometimes put their foot on there in an accident. I'd feel my seatbelt pull against my waist. Well, I felt it, and I turned around, and I noticed it was Sarah's foot. And I looked up, she looked up and smiled, and I thought, she likes me. She had a friend. Her friend was odd. But her friend calls me one day and says, Pacific, I know you said you like boats and stuff. I'm dating this guy right now who's got a sailboat out in the harbor of Lake Superior. And I asked him, can we bring Pacific? Because he's always wanted to go on a sailboat. My friend said, sure. That was the first time I went on a sailboat. We started going out of the harbor and a dang storm came up. I'm like, come on. He had just put out the sail. He let me hold the tiller. We're bucketing along. And all of a sudden, the skies just turn black. The wind starts coming, gale force. And he says, I better put in. I'm like, oh, rats. It was so electrifying to go out on that harbor and feel the chop and that boat just zipping along. It was awesome. I should have gone to sea, man. I'm telling you. Sarah, the Filipino with the long hair, And there were other Filipinas I dated that I adored. No, I take that back. I loved them. I liked things about them. But the one I told you about from Bohol, I adored her. I adored her. She stood head and shoulders above the rest in her sweetness. Was she simple? Yes. It didn't bother me a bit. And this is something I want American women to know. I had no interest in mocking her, taking advantage of her. I felt even more a sense of a brotherly and manly protection towards her. Like, if this woman was in the United States, I would never bring her to be a paraprofessional at the bus garage and subject her to the kind of women I work with. They would just be horrible to her. She's beautiful, but she doesn't carry herself the way good-looking Americans do with the bitch factor going on. She wasn't like that. And as I lived in Asia, it dawned on me, would you want to bring any of these women into your culture? And I thought, no stinking way. Our culture is loaded minefield. I would feel a strong sense of protection for. Not a control freak way, but when we go out in public, you got to be with me for a while before you get used to what is going on out here. You walk down the street, as pretty as you are, and American men look over at you, boy, if you're not street smart, they will take advantage of you. Her beauty is natural. They would have made fun of her because she doesn't have that attitude, and they would have been jealous. They too would have laughed at her boots until I told them about the scars. The scars didn't bother me. They reached down and I put my hands on them and I said, I am so sorry. The Jehovah's Witness told me the other day, I believe you have a lot of love to give. My uncle said, I believe you have a lot of love to give, but the problem is women aren't taking the time to get to know you. All the stuff they're complaining about, they're so caught up in their little checklist, they have no idea how much heart you have. I'm not feeling sorry for myself, but sometimes the jadedness of our age gets to me as well. I don't like it. Today, I went to Walmart, went to Sears, went to get gloves, went to go buy a pair of cheap snow boots because I thought winter's going to come. I just have a strong feeling we're going to get dumped on this year, and I don't have any boots. I don't like being out there. I don't mind going to the lake, but I hated going to Walmart. It was packed. There was so many people in there trying to get out of the parking lot. You got to watch it, man. It's crazy. I'm not being negative, but there's just an uncomfortable feeling out there now. It's like, why do I want to drive around and everybody's going out to the stores and the malls and spending all their money, and that's all there is to do in Denver, Colorado. And I think, gosh, I miss certain aspects of Asia. You know, I love women. I love beauty. I like a woman. There's the black teen girl on my bus. Every morning she's dolling up her hair, putting on her lotion. I think it's cute. I think it's neat. I like womanly ways. I like a woman who's feminine. I like a woman who dolls herself up. I like a woman who, I love seeing two women do each other's hair. There's nothing lesbo about it. I like femininity. I'm a guy, and I envy women sometimes. Some of them are blessed with beauty, and I look at their beauty and their arms and their shoulders and their chest, and I think, man, they are more beautiful than us guys. I just don't like what our culture has done to them. They're infected with a disease. I miss Edith from Bohol. I get sad thinking about her. I have no idea where she is or how she's doing. She went back penniless, just enough for a plane flight back, and the last contact we had, she was trying to get work in the Philippines, couldn't, living with her sister, and her sister was just kind of treating her like chump change. There's so many hurting people out there. There's so many beautiful women that live in poverty, that don't have this entitlement, stupid attitude that the American women have. And I think, gosh, I don't have enough money to rescue all the people I'd like to rescue and make their life better. Sometimes Pacific has settled for second and third and fourth best because somebody's paying attention to me. I found myself doing it again the other day. I was at work. One of the ladies I drive with, her daughter got on as a para and decided to become a driver. She's heavier than what I would normally go for, but she's kind of cute. And I told her mother, I said, your daughter's kind of cute. She wasted no time in telling her, and the daughter talked to me, and I thought to myself, Michael, that is not your ideal. And I thought, yeah, but she's nice. Women, sometimes kindness will also change the way we men look at you. If you're rude in an attitude, then none of you is pretty. Deep down inside, I'd like somebody smaller than me, and gosh, I'd love to have an Edith type girl. And I know you're listening there in California, lady. This is talking about somebody else. She's making videos now, and I saw her on her video, and I thought, oh, she is so pretty. She's not interested in dating right now. It is sad what has happened. She's Asian, by the way. And all I'm trying to say is, I want to find somebody. I want to find somebody, not just anybody, but somebody that enthralls my heart, where she's enthralled with me and we can't wait to see each other and talk and be together. Somebody where I put my arm and stroke her hair right in public and I don't care what other people think. I'm a very loving, passionate, sweet on a woman guy. I hold doors open for that lady. I do things. There are some white women that are beautiful. But when I look at what I experienced with Edith, and I look at white women here today, and I see their attitude, I thought, man, they're so cold as ice. Edith was so warm. I'll tell you how I met her. I went to karaoke one night. I noticed her right away because she was wearing a very pretty, colorful dress. Shoulders were exposed. She had on those boots. And I thought, wow, she's pretty. She looked at me and smiled. I looked at her, and she bumped right into me on purpose. Dance with me. We danced, and she had no inhibition. She was not slutty. She put her arms around me, and we slow danced, and she just put her head right down on me, and I thought, wow. I liked her right away. She's only off one day a week, and I'd bump into her every so often. Then when she actually lost her job and was there for a month, we got to spend time together, and we'd sit down by the harbor, and I'd lean against a statue or something and have her sit between my legs and wrap my arms around her, and we'd just sit there and watch boats go by and talk. And you know, I am a simple guy. This American culture's gotten very complex for me, ladies. And I get sad. Somebody made a comment, maybe if you be more positive, you might get a girlfriend. BS. I don't walk out there moaning the blues all the time. I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky guy. Ask the people I work with. Man, he always walks so fast, and he takes every trip they throw at him. Field trips, that is. He cleans his bus. He does everything with exuberance. Do you think the women are noticing me for that? They notice it, but they're not interested. I do have something to compare things to. Edith was a sweet gal, and when she comes to my mind, I'm sad and I miss her. There's a few I thought I would miss, and as time has gone by, that flame has waned. The only girl that I can look back on, I don't feel the intensity that I once did because it's been so many years, but Sarah was a sweet girl too, a white girl. But Edith was the best as far as me feeling such uh, passionate sweetness for her. No, not just lust and sex and all that, but wanting to just really care for her and take her under my wing and love on her. That was Edith, the woman from Buhal. I had a video that I took down. I deleted it. People made fun of her. They made fun of her because she didn't even think about it. You know, we in America were so taught not to do the wrong thing, and she would just simply reach up and dig something out of her nose, and other people would see that and go, oh my gosh. You know what? She wasn't dirty. She wasn't gross. She wasn't crude at all. She was clean. She had good hygiene, but she truly was a simple woman. And it didn't bother me. And in our culture, women look at that and go, look at who he chose. But I look at the way our cultured, quote unquote, dignified women act. They're cold as an iceberg. I wouldn't want to run my fingers through their hair. They probably wouldn't let me anyway. I don't think they know how to make love. I don't think they know how to have passion in bed or really cuddle and be warm. I love stroking her hair. She had beautiful, shiny, long, jet black hair, and I loved it, and I'd bury my face in it and smell her. Yeah, this video is about girls because I think you ladies out there need to know Pacific has a heart. It's not all hate. I'm just tired of what's happened. Look up the video. Maybe, in fact, I'll put the link in here and you check it out. That girl was awesome. So this is dedicated to her. She probably won't see it. I don't know where she's at. She allowed me to make that video. I said, is this okay? She goes, yeah. If I did that with a white gal, I did it. The minute we lost company, you make sure and get that off of there or I'll sue you. That's why you don't see me on here with ex-girlfriends in the U.S. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. She never asked me to remove it. She thought the video was cute. That's why it's posted. This is Pacific, giving his thoughts on girls. I love women. I just don't like what our culture has done to them. And I don't like the Filipinas that put her down. I don't like that. Why are people so damn mean? For all you trolls out there, kiss my arse. This is as real as it gets. It's funny, when you try to be real and genuine and loving and passionate and caring, boy, do you get a target on your back to be made fun of and put down by the jaded, nasty men and women of our culture. And her culture. I think the reason a lot of Filipinas made fun of her is she truly was striking to me. I think that in some ways she could have been a model with that hair, with her physique. She was very slender. She was very slender. A lot of people would call her quite thin, but she still had a class and a dignity about her, and yet such a simplicity. This is Pacific signing off. Bye-bye.